I already told you you're loitering. Give me your ID.
I gave
Now.
you my ID, you checked it. I asked for the legal reason I'm being questioned.
You're obstructing our investigation. You need to come.
Hey, this doesn't involve you.
Do not speak to him and be.
The words cut through the Saturday morning air like a knife. Eva kept her eyes on the baseball field. She watched her nephew Ben field a ground ball. The metal seats felt cold against her back, even with the summer sun. She did not turn around. She did not answer the voice behind her. She knew what would happen if she did. The man moved where she could see him. His large body blocked the way out between the rows of seats. His hand rested on his belt. It looked casual, but it was not. "Ma'am, I will not ask again," he said. Eva finally looked up. "Good morning, officer," she said. She kept her voice calm. "Can you tell me why you are here?" "We had a complaint," the officer replied. His eyes looked over her leather work bag. He looked at her water bottle. He looked at her jacket folded on the seat. "Your ID." "Now." On the field, Ben looked toward the seats. Even from far away, Eva could see his smile fade. She made herself stay calm. "I will cooperate," she said. "But I need to know the reason for this stop." The officer's jaw tightened. "Loitering," he said. "Park rules. No adults alone." Eva's eyes moved to the yellow sign at the field entrance. The black letters were clear even from here. No loitering. It listed times. She checked her watch. "Officer, that sign is for the night," she said. "It is just after 10 in the morning. Do not get smart with me," the officer snapped. "ID." Now. Later, when she got the records, Eva would see the call that started it all. The caller's voice would be saved in a computer. The caller said, "There is a black woman alone at the seats. No children with her. She is just staring at the children." The note from the person who took the call would be worse. It would say the caller was a white woman. It would say the caller stated the woman had done nothing wrong, but she felt unsafe. But that was later. Right now, Eva reached slowly for her bag. Her fingers brushed past the leather case she had carried for 16 years. The one she could not show him. Not yet. The morning had started like every Saturday for the past 3 years. Eva's alarm went off early. She was awake before Ben. She had breakfast ready when he came into the kitchen in his team uniform. "Eggs or cereal?" she asked. She already knew the answer. "Cereal," Ben mumbled, climbing onto a stool. "The sweet kind." Eva poured the cereal and watched him eat. She had packed his bag the night before. She had checked his glove and cleaned his shoes. These small routines were important. They were the structure that held their life together. "Aunt Eva?" Ben said between bites. "Why do people always look at us?" Eva's hand paused on her coffee cup. "What do you mean, baby?" she asked. "Like at the store yesterday. That lady kept watching us. Like she was waiting for something bad to happen." Eva had seen the woman too. She had seen how the woman's eyes followed them. How they looked at Eva's work bag. How they watched Ben's movements as if he might steal something. "They're just curious," Eva said. She hated the lie. People notice things that are different. Just ignore them. Ben nodded. But his eyes had a look she knew. It was the look of a child learning a hard lesson too early. They got to the park at 9:38. Eva parked in her usual spot. It was 2 spaces from the field entrance. She had chosen it for a reason. It was close enough to see the field, but had 2 ways to leave. The path to the main road was clear on her left. The service road behind the food stand was a second choice. She noticed these things without thinking. It was a habit. Where some people saw a peaceful morning, she saw angles and ways out. She had learned long ago that being aware stopped problems before they started. The seats were filling with parents. Eva knew most of them by now, though few knew her name. They gathered in their usual groups. They shared coffee and talked about their plans. Eva sat apart, 3 rows up on the visitor's side. She could not join their routines. Her work schedule changed often. She could not promise to drive other children when she might be gone for days. A woman in exercise clothes and a clean white visor walked over. Eva knew her name was Lisa from the team list, but they had never spoken. "Hello there," Lisa said, climbing the steps. "I do not think we have met. Are you Ben's mother?" "His aunt," Eva replied. "Eva." Lisa's smile did not reach her eyes. Her gaze fell to Eva's leather work bag. It looked professional and costly. "Oh, how nice," Lisa said. "And what do you do, Eva?" "Government work," Eva said. "Consulting." Lisa's eyebrows went up. "Oh, like social services?" she asked. The guess hung in the air between them. Government work plus black woman plus raising her sister's child. It equaled social worker or case manager. Never a job with real power. Never a job that needed a federal badge. "Something like that," Eva said. She did not give more information. Lisa stayed another moment. Her eyes moved from Eva's face to her bag and vac. "Well, it is nice to finally talk," she said. "I have seen you here a few times. You always sit alone." "I like the view from here," Eva replied. Lisa went back to her usual spot with the other mothers. Eva watched her lean close to two women in matching team shirts. She saw their eyes look toward her. She saw the whisper start. She saw the sideways looks. She saw the careful space people kept. She had seen how people moved their bags closer when she walked by. On the field, Ben stood at his position. He waved toward the seats, and Eva waved back. He was happy here. That was what mattered. He had been through enough. His mother was in prison for 8 years for a drug crime. The law did not care about her problems. Ben needed a steady life. He needed to be a child. Eva opened her water bottle and drank. She looked over the field with a trained eye. There were 45 people today. 32 adults, 13 children. 2 of the children were too young for the team. The food stand had a security camera pointed toward the parking lot, but it would not see the seats. A police car drove around the park every 30 minutes. She had timed it over many weeks. It was as regular as a clock. She noted the exits again. 2 clear paths. The field had a tall wire fence on 3 sides, but the 4th side was open to the parking area. She could be in her car in less than a minute if she needed to be. Ben fielded a practice ball cleanly. He threw it to first base with the awkward but determined motion of a kid still growing into his body. Eva felt her chest tighten with pride. He was strong. Stronger than she had been at his age. He had adapted to living with his aunt. He had learned the rules. He did not complain about the things they could not have, or the fact that his mom only called once a month from prison. He just kept moving forward. That was why Eva came every single Saturday, no matter what. Down below, Lisa took out her phone. She turned away from the field and walked toward the parking lot with hunched shoulders. Eva watched her thumb move on the screen. She saw her look back toward the seats. She looked right at Eva. A cold feeling settled in Eva's stomach. She had seen this before. Not here, but in her work. It was the way people looked when they were reporting something. When they were calling someone. When they were starting something. Lisa's lips moved as she talked into the phone. Her free hand made a gesture toward the seats. She shook her head at something, then nodded strongly. Eva put down her water bottle. Her instincts were warning her now. That sixth sense that had kept her alive in much more dangerous places. Something was wrong. She could feel it in the way Elisa kept looking over. In the deliberate way she had positioned herself. In the urgency of her gestures. Eva told herself it was nothing. Just a parent making a call. Maybe talking about dinner plans or forgotten food. Maybe complaining about the referee from last week. But her hands moved on their own. Phone fully charged. Keys in the side pocket. Wallet with ID easy to reach. The leather case in the inside part of the bag, right where it always was. On the field, Ben caught another grounder. He turned to look at her, his face bright with happiness, and Eva waved. She kept the smile on her face even as Lisa finished her call and started walking back. Lisa's face was carefully blank. Eva told herself she was wrong. She had to be wrong. 6 minutes after Lisa's phone call ended, a white police car drove into the parking lot. Eva watched its movement from her seat. She saw it go around once before parking near the field entrance. The officer got out. He adjusted his belt with one hand. He spoke into his shoulder radio with the other. He did not look at the crowd. He did not look for a reason. He walked straight toward Eva. His path was as direct as a shot. "Ma'am," the officer said, stopping at the bottom of the seats. "I need to see some ID." Eva kept her eyes on the field for another moment. She watched Ben field a practice ball. Then she turned to face the officer. "Good morning, officer," she said. She kept her voice level. "Can you tell me why you are here?" "We had a complaint," the officer replied. His eyes moved over her leather bag, her water bottle, her jacket folded beside her. "ID." Now, Eva had been through enough of these moments to know the game. He did not say what he suspected. He did not give details of the complaint. Just a demand backed by the power of his badge and the unspoken threat of what happened to people who said no. She could feel the other parents watching now. Conversations stopped in the middle of sentences. Heads turned to see what was happening. "I will follow a lawful order," Eva said. She stressed the word lawful a little. "But I need to know the reason for this stop." The officer's face changed. That was not the answer he had expected. Most people either gave their ID right away or got angry. Eva's tone was calm and professional, almost like she was following a set of rules. "The reason," the officer said, his voice getting harder, "is that I am a police officer and I asked you a question. That is all the reason you need." Eva held his look. She had written enough reports to know how this would sound later. The woman became argumentative. She would not cooperate with the officer's lawful commands. She acted in a suspicious way, needing more investigation. The story was already being written in his head. Every word she said was being turned into proof that she was guilty. "Officer, I am not refusing," Eva said. "I am asking for you to explain. What is the complaint?" "You are loitering," the officer said. He pointed to the yellow sign at the field entrance. "Park rules. No adults alone." Eva's eyes followed his point. The sign was easy to see from where she sat. Black letters on yellow metal. "No loitering," with times listed. She checked her watch. She made sure the officer saw her do it. "Officer, that sign is for the night," she said. "It is currently 10:17 in the morning. Do not tell me how to read a sign," the officer snapped. Around them, the feeling in the air had changed. The sound of bats hitting balls continued, but the parents had stopped talking. Everyone was watching now. Lisa stood near the food stand. Her arms were crossed. Her phone was still in her hand. 2 other mothers had moved closer. They were whispering behind their hands. On the field, Ben looked toward the seats. Even from far away, Eva could see his smile was gone. She could see he knew something was wrong. Eva reached slowly for her bag. She moved so he could see what she was doing. "I have my driver's license," she said, "and I have the park permit on my phone. I am listed as an approved adult for the team." "Just the ID," the officer said. Eva took out her wallet. She took out her driver's license and handed it to him. The officer took it without looking at her face. He tilted the card to catch the light. He checked the picture against her face. Then he pressed his shoulder radio. "Copy. I have a black female. Eva. Age 38. At City Park baseball field." He said he was checking for any warrants for her arrest. The words hit Eva like a physical blow. Checking her name was normal for some stops. But doing it out loud, making sure everyone nearby could hear it, that was a performance. That was building a story. that was making sure all the watching parents knew the police were checking if she was a criminal. Eva's jaw tightened. She could end this right now. She could show the credential case in her bag. She could watch the officer's face lose its color. She could watch him apologize and walk away. But something stopped her. Maybe it was the way Ben was watching from his position, his glove hanging loose at his side. Maybe it was the way Lisa's face had changed to something like satisfaction. Maybe it was 16 years of experience that told her this moment needed to be recorded. It needed to be saved. It needed to be used as proof. A second police car pulled into the lot. A sergeant got out. He was older than the first officer. His uniform was very neat. He walked with the careful steps of someone who had learned to hide behind the rules, to use policy books as weapons. "What is the situation here?" the sergeant asked. He looked at the first officer, not at Eva. "A call about a suspicious person, Sergeant," the first officer replied. "The woman is not cooperating. She refused to give her ID at first. Now she is questioning if this stop is right." Eva opened her mouth to correct him, to point out that she had asked for an explanation before giving her ID, not refused. But the sergeant cut her off with a raised hand. "Ma'am, you will need to come with us for questioning," the sergeant said. "Am I being detained?" Eva asked. The question was exact and legal, the kind that forced officers to take a position. "We are doing an investigation," the sergeant replied. His tone was maddeningly neutral. "That is not an answer," Eva said. "Am I free to leave?" The sergeant exchanged a look with the first officer. The radio on the first officer's shoulder made a noise. A voice came through. "Unit 12, the subject Eva has no warrants. Her record is clean." For a moment, Eva thought that would be the end of it. Clean record. Valid ID. Park permit on her phone showing she had every right to be there. They would give back her license. Maybe warn her about something unclear, like loitering rules, and leave. But the first officer stepped closer instead. He moved into what any training book would call the intimidation space. "You're coming with us," he said. End of story. "For what reason?" Eva asked. "I have given you my ID. I have a clean record. I have explained why I am here. What law have I broken?" "Obstruction," the sergeant said. The word was delivered like a final judgment. "You are obstructing our investigation." The irony would have been funny if it were not so dangerous. She had asked questions. She had asked for an explanation. She had followed every lawful order while calmly stating her rights. And now, somehow, that cooperation had turned into obstruction. Footsteps pounded across the grass. Eva's heart sank before she even turned her head. Ben was running toward them. His shoes kicked up little clouds of dirt. His face was twisted with confusion and fear. "Aunt Eva," he called out. "What is wrong? What is happening?" Eva held up a hand. She tried to stop him, to keep him away from this. But he was already there, breathing hard, looking between her and the officers with wide eyes. "It is okay, baby," Eva said. She forced her voice to stay steady. "It is a misunderstanding. Go back to your team." "Son, this does not concern you," the sergeant said to Ben. "Go back to the field." Eva's voice dropped to ice. "Do not speak to him," she said. It was the first time real authority had come into her tone. The first crack in the careful civilian mask she had been wearing. The first officer heard it. His eyes got a little narrower. Something in the way he stood changed. "Ma'am, you need to come with us now," he said. "If you refuse, we will arrest you." "For what crime?" Eva asked again. "Resisting arrest," the first officer said. The circular logic was now clear, without any shame. Later, when the records request came back, Eva would see the full record of the 911 call. The time would show that Lisa's call came in just as the first pitch was being thrown. The audio would save her voice saying, "There is a black woman alone at the seats. No children with her. She is just staring at the children. It makes me uncomfortable. The note from the person who took the call would be even more damning. It would say the caller was a white woman. It would say the caller stated the subject had done nothing illegal, but she felt unsafe. It would say the caller was told that without a crime, police might not come, but the caller insisted. The system had recorded its own failure. It had saved the moment when fear became a weapon, when discomfort became a reason. But that knowledge was still days away. Right now, Ava stood on the seats with her nephew. She watched 2 officers closing in. She felt the weight of 16 years of service pressing against her ribs like a heavy stone. She could not show it. Ben grabbed her hand. "I do not understand," he whispered. "You did not do anything wrong." Eva squeezed his fingers. "I know, baby," she said. "Sometimes that does not matter. Where are you watching from?"